Okay, everyone, welcome back to the Hearthmind Conqueror series number 3. We're about to bring you our grand finals today, which is between Lucas and Knightmare. Again, I'm joined by Alex DeBoss of Team Hearthmind and Bullock Askier Watson for any of you that are just joining us. And in our grand final tonight, we are going to have, like I said, Lucas, who is bringing Rogue, Hunter, and Mage against Knightmare's Druid, Hunter, Warrior lineup. So I think this is going to be an interesting match, really, because there's a lot of diversity between the two sides. Aside from the Hunters, which they both brought, the other 4 decks are all different. What do you guys think?
I really like it, and it's worth mentioning that the Hunters are different. Lucas has a face Hunter, and Knightmare's Hunter is a mid-range.
Yeah, so that's even more variety to the match. And I mean, a lot of the ones that we've seen in the Conquest format, the lineups are fairly similar usually. Like, there may be like 1, maybe 2 decks that are, switched up. But really, this one it's 2 completely different lineups. So I think it's definitely going to be exciting to watch how it plays out.
They're about to go in game, so we'll see what they start with. Which, like we mentioned in the previous cast, that it's not as crucial in this format like as it was in last Hero Standing, because you can't counter as effectively. Your opponent always has at least 2 decks to choose from, unless he's down to his last deck, obviously. But
Yeah,
it's a lot harder to counter directly.
and it's not as though, you get a deck knocked out and it's done. You have to win with all of your decks to be able to take the series. Is also another point that's worth noting, because in last Hero Standing, like, say your Hunter got knocked out first and then you sweep with your Rogue, that's fine. You never have to win with that Hunter. So in this format, all 3 decks have to be able to perform to at least some level, which is another kind of interesting difference between this and the last Hero Standing that we were used to.
I enjoy this format a lot more.
You said
I
they
enjoy that game 1 doesn't decide the series as much as it used to.
Okay, they're queuing up now, so we're going to get to see what they each picked for the first match in just a moment here. Okay, it's going to be Mage versus Druid.
And the Mage is not a mech mage. This is the Tempo Mage that uses the Mana Worms. It uses 2 unstable portals. Very interesting deck. I've seen it quite a bit on ladder lately.
Yeah, I'm honestly not a big fan of the Tempo Mage. Like, when it first came out, I think it performed better than it actually does, like, now that everyone knows about it and knows what it is. I think when it has the surprise factor, it does a little bit better.
Nobody suspects a counterspell, which is probably one of the reasons that it has the element of surprise.
Though I have to say, in my experience, from like just this deck becoming popular on the ladder, like Bullock had said, that pretty much any time I see a Mana Worm or an unstable portal, I will play around Counterspell now, because this is, second to Mech Mage, really the only common mage deck that you see at the moment.
That is true. And when Mech Mage first came out, people were experimenting with putting a counterspell there, sometimes just to throw people off. But there's really nothing to cut from the deck that would be worth it. So these days, pretty much all Mech Mages run only 2 mirror entities and no counterspell.
And the Antique Healbot is a little bit of an interesting pickup off of the unstable portal. I actually just caught that wasn't part of his original deck, and I think that could definitely come into play here, because at 2 mana, like, that's an amazing value you get out of that in terms of an 8 health heal. Whereas playing it at 5 is a little more clunky to fit into your other turns. At 2, he can pretty much fit it in anywhere.
And you still get a decent body, even if it was just a 3/3 for 2. That's still decent. Yeah, you already paid 2 mana for it, but at this point that's irrelevant.
The Rubian Egg. Ooh, with the Savage Roar, that may actually be a really good one. And Cenarius even. For way later in the game.
Yeah,
Possible that goes for buff.
he definitely has ways to buff the egg.
If you really wanted to, you could crack the egg with a keeper. You probably won't, but it is an option.
Yeah, I feel like that's such, negative value that you're creating for yourself, because you're using the keeper's, first of all, silence, which is a very valuable effect in and of itself, or even the 2 damage. You're using that just to activate your own egg, whereas there's plenty of other ways to do it in slightly less self-destructive fashion, I guess you could say.
Slightly less self-destructive fashion. By that you mean by using Deathwing to pop it, right?
Oh, of course, because Deathwing's awesome.
Yeah, Deathwing is the best.
I like using the Savage Roar since he already has a full other combo here.
Yeah,
I like the aggressiveness.
Well, he wins in 2 turns.
Yeah. Well, not really. There is an anti.
Of course, there's the heal bot here, but he's not expecting that heal bot.
Right.
And the other thing that also could come into play on that is the counterspell.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow.
Millhouse.
Because if he does not play around that counterspell or assumes it's a mirror entity, that can...
Got the Azure Drake. Wow. I'm totally surprised by him playing that.
I have no time for games.
And it is a counterspell because the other one in hand didn't light up.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so that's actually going to make it even more difficult, I think, for Knightmare to be able to pull off the combo. Because even if he's aware that it's a counterspell, he's going to need now 2 spells to be able to burn into those to get the combo off in a single turn.
There's one, but that's
one.
that's
That
still
kinda
great
sucks.
value for the counterspell.
Yeah,
And there's the second one.
yeah, now he's just able to replay another this turn coming up.
Now, does Knightmare have his own Keys and Mystic in this deck?
I don't believe so.
Because that would be pretty funny to see him top that Keys and Mystic, and then have Lucas use Keys and Mystic to get the same secret back.
The ping pong secret effect.
Yeah. I
just checked the deck list and he does not.
I value Keys and Mystic more in decks that already have secrets because it becomes better as a anti-tech card against an anti-tech card. If that makes sense at all.
It does. I follow what you're saying.
Okay.
It increases its value when someone tries to tech against you.
Yeah.
Well, he was able to pop the second counterspell, so now he knows his combo is safe.
And Nightmare's Druid, is this the 2 combo?
Yes, but he already used 1 Savage Roar.
So he may be okay with using a Force of Nature to give Sylvanas a bad minion.
Yes.
Deciding not to, though. Just hoping he can get the damage through next turn to win.
It's
Which he can't, 'cause Ragnaros.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's kind of in a risky spot here, because between the 9 damage on the board, plus Ragnaros, if he hits face, plus the ping, could be lethal. It's a 50-50.
And if not, then the Druid doesn't have lethal because the Shade's gone. So you either win or you win the next turn. Looks like he chose the win the next turn path.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be it, especially with the sheep.
don't know what could happen. He's probably going to end up Cenarius for taunt and ending the turn. But that will not be enough. A sheep ping, clear the 2 taunts with your minions. Yep, he's just going to concede.
So Lucas takes game 1 with the mage, and he has a face hunter and oil rogue left, so 2 very aggressive decks.
Okay, so what do you think for Lucas? His next pick is going to be here. I'm kind of expecting Oil Rogue to come out.
I don't expect Oil Rogue because Warrior still exists.
So it is Oil Rogue and Druid.
It's Oil.
And I have to say, though, that I don't think the Oil Rogue has that terrible of a matchup against Warrior. Not nearly as bad as the Miracle Rogue of old, just because Oil has so much burst potential.
I hold the exact opposite opinion, because old Miracle Rogue seemed to have way more damage, and the new Warrior has way more armor than the old Warrior did back when it was facing up against the old Miracle Rogue.
Shield Maiden does make that matchup a lot more difficult than would be pre-GBG.
So I believe that, and I actually hold Trump's opinion, and I believe it's also Firebat's opinion. They talked about it in their videos that it used to be that Miracle Rogue was good against Warrior, and now Warrior versus this Rogue is a really, really tough matchup for the Rogue.
The Warrior is actually good against both of Lucas's decks, because his hunter is a face hunter, so
I
Warrior
actually noticed that
good against that as well.
Knightmare may actually have the advantage in the series, even though he's down a game, because the only games Lucas can play against the Warrior are bad matchups. The Druid's in a weird spot where he's stuck with nothing on board and he has to react.
I think Lotheb was the best choice, though. Because...
It's the sneakiest guy.
Yeah, because the Drake would have just 1-for-1'd with the other Drake, whereas Lotheb, it denies him spells for a turn, and it forces him to deal with it through his minions, which, like, as we talked about earlier, leaving an Oil Rogue with any minions on the board, if you can avoid it, is so dangerous.
This guy's toast.
So he's just going full damage, attacking with the minions, not trading into bots first.
Oh, and that bot was terrible.
Yeah.
Got no value out of that.
Druid is in the same spot that it was in before, having to react to the board. Sap is such a strong card against Druid for that reason. You take all the stuff off the board, and then they have all these creatures in their hands that don't swing the board back in their favor. So they're just kind of stuck there.
Yeah, and if Lucas actually, if he top decks into a Blade Flurry, this could be lethal this turn.
Yeah, Blade Flurry would be lethal, and Eviscerate would be lethal. He has options.
And
I have no
a
time for
second
games.
Tinkers would be lethal.
Second Tinkers would be lethal as well, correct?
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways that this game could be over really quickly here.
Okay. That's going to deny the lethal, but even still, that's a lot of damage that can be pushed through.
Oh, terrible bomb.
Phantom Knives doesn't offer him much help.
Board going to the Rogue again, lots of damage being shown.
And I like that. I mean, you could have pressed for damage there, but this is a lot safer play.
Cenarius in taunt mode can be torn apart pretty hard by Fan of Knives. Same with Dr. Boom, actually.
Yeah, pretty much anything he does here is, I would say, not really going to take the board back. Cenarius, I mean,
Best.
yeah, it keeps some damage off of him, but not even really so, because...
Ooh, Auctioneer. Lots of rogues cut Auctioneer for the second sprint. I wonder if Lucas went for one Auctioneer, one sprint.
It's probably what he is running, because the miracle that I played a little bit in the beginning of this season, it's Ryzen's version, which is, it looks very similar to this list. It may be the same list where it is one sprint and one auctioneer.
I just checked the list, and it is, and I also learned that Dr. Boom in Portuguese is Dr. Kaboom, which I like a lot better.
That is pretty cool.
Dr. Kaboom, I'll have to remember that. No longer is he Dr. Boom.
No longer is he Dr. Balanced either. Dr. Kaboom is a better nickname.
Dr. Kaboom, that sounds way better.
Now, is there any way out for Knightmare right here?
Deathwing wouldn't even be a way out.
11, with the, yeah, absolute, with the Tinkers, the Blade Flurry, the Eviscerate, I don't think anything short of a Tree of Life is saving him here.
Yeah. Which is possible if you're a druid, but not gonna happen.
Well, he did the best he could.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
He knows that 6 damage is way too dangerous and that the game is over, but you might as well end your turn in case it's not. Maybe he misclicks the Eviscerate onto the opponent's Drake. Nope. So Lucas wins game 2 as well.
So all he has left is a Face Hunter, and all he needs to do is win one game, either against the Druid, a mid-range Hunter, or a Warrior. Which the mid-range Hunter and the Warrior are not great matchups. The Druid is okay, I guess.
I think it's gonna come down to the Druid match, which is the Hunter's best shot.
yeah, I would agree. Oh, wow. I'm surprised Knightmare picked the Druid into him first.
With no information about the Hunter, and with that being what I believe is the most crucial match between the two, I would disagree.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Says just to see what cards are in the deck, see it play out. He probably should have went with one of the ones that were safer. Probably the Warrior, I would think.
I would go with the Warrior. This Druid does not have any zombie chows. He is very late game oriented, and he has Black Knight, which is pretty useless against Face Hunter.
Yeah. I would have liked to see Knightmare, first of all, figure out what type of Hunter it is, if it's Super Face Hunter or not. And second of all, probably the most important thing is what the 2 traps are. Or if they're playing more than 2 traps. Just figure out what the traps are most likely going to be.
He actually plays 3 traps, one of them being Freezing Trap. But it is still a Face Hunter. I mean, that's the only card that kind of is off here. And I guess it's just there to throw off opponents.
It's there because it's good against Druid. It's better against Druid than Explosive Trap is, in my opinion.
Well, he has 2 explosives and 1 freezing.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, maybe it's just there for tempo against Druids.
Tempo, like I said, people are not going to play around it because all the other cards clearly scream Face Hunter. And usually Face Hunter only runs 2 explosives.
Yeah, so it probably is just an element of surprise type thing.
And I also like the fact that with this setup, you're almost guaranteed, or you have a way greater chance of getting value out of your scientists. Because if you only have 2 scientists and 2 traps, whenever you pull a trap, one of your scientists becomes a 2/2 for 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
just
is.
dislike drawing traps, which is why I go for a build that has 2 traps. It was a freezing trap,
And there's the freezing trap, which I guarantee you is not what he was expecting.
probably not.
And there's the explosive, which is really going to make him think now, because he's not going to be sure if that's another freezing or not.
Yeah, most hunter decks have 2 traps and they're the same trap so that they always know what they're going to get off Mad Scientist that can work with it. So he was probably thinking that was going to be a freezing trap.
Well, that bought him a turn, but we're nearing the end here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be.
And that turn anyway.
Yeah, he didn't have lethal anyways, but he guaranteed that he's not dying.
Yeah. Ancient of Lore for heal is...
Yeah, he will be able to heal up a little bit here.
He might go Dr. Boom for the total risk play, which makes him win faster. Which I could totally agree with.
I would, because you have to play to win and not play not to lose. He goes for the heal, though.
Both plays make sense.
Oh.
But
Well, it's not game because he can't play both.
yeah,
But it's the question of, is Knightmare going to be able to do 30 damage over the course of the next turn?
well, all he actually needs is to draw the second Ancient of Lore. So if he has the ability to draw, then he needs to do that as fast as he possibly can. So he should Azure Drake.
Azure Drake wouldn't. It still wouldn't help him though, because he wouldn't be able to play it.
Well, he could have it for the next turn.
Mm.
This is him assuming that
Yeah, assuming
opponent
that.
doesn't have a beast and 2 kill commands as 3 cards in his hand.
Well, icing on the cake. Now a beast and 1 kill command does it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to show that he had 2, or he could if he wants to. Doesn't matter.
That's the series right here, so it really doesn't matter.
Yep. Was that the finals already?
It
Yeah,
was.
that's the series.
Dang.
Yeah, it went quick.
All these fast decks being played. Wanted to see more Fatigue Mage versus OTK Priest.
Yeah, and this series also did go 3-0, which isn't something we really see very often since we've switched over to the Conquest.
I want to say it's the first time we're seeing it.
I think we did see one other 3-0 in one of the either finals or third place matches in the previous weeks, but most of the matches have been going the full 5 or at least close to that. Like, I really feel like it gives a better balance and lets the players show more of a wide berth of all their different builds and whatnot. So definitely congratulations to Lucas and Knightmare as well for going through the field this week. I mean, even though he did take second place, that is definitely nothing to hold short, because I think we were over 128 this week, weren't we?
Yeah, we were over 150, I believe, this week.
Yeah, so to come in second through a field of 150 is definitely nothing to take lightly. So definitely big congratulations go out to Knightmare along with Lucas as our champion in the third edition of our Conqueror series here at Hearthmind.
Lucas showed us why he was top 10 going into the tournament. When last time I checked, 5 people got ahead of him, so he was 15 NA, not 10 anymore. But now he's actually 16, so he needs to get back on ladder because he's dropping fast.
Yeah, it's still early in the season though, and you know the ranks fluctuate so early on that I'm sure with the quality of play that we saw from him here, he should definitely be able to get back up there.
Not that 16
Oh, yeah.
NA is low by any means.
Yeah. Was there anything else you guys wanted to add in terms of the matches we saw here tonight, or?
Well, I just wanted to reiterate, we said it before, but I want to say it again, that the challenge series that we ran before, the limited, restriction-based tournaments that we ran, did not go away completely. Those will come back, and I hate to say it, but they're going to come soon. Take it for what it's worth.
Soon meaning tomorrow?
Not that soon, but soon. So, yeah, they definitely are coming back. We're just ironing out the details on exactly when we want to do it, and as soon as we have that figured out, we'll definitely get it up on the website as well as the social media outlets to keep you guys informed with that, because as Oscar just said, we've had some people asking when they are coming back, and it's something we've been kind of hinting at in the last few weeks. Keep saying that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, you know, falling into the old Blizzard soon TM trap, but it's going to be sooner than later. I can say that definitely for sure. Anything else you wanted to add before we close this up here tonight?
No, that's it for me. I hope to see all you guys next week.
Can I add something?
Go right ahead, Alex.
I think we should encourage people to give ideas for the new challenges. Not new challenges, old challenges that we bring back, because it's a little bit tough to come up with challenges every week. So you can get yourself all hyped up on what the next challenge is going to be. I think it would be cool if we had suggestions from people who actually play in the tournaments.
All right, so yeah, we can definitely we can set that up. Like when we post it up, we'll put up a link there where people can submit as well for ideas for the challenge. Like we did take suggestions in the past, so we could definitely get back into the habit of doing that. And like I agree with what you said there, that the people that play in those tournaments really have like the outside the box mentality, that they're able to come up with, you know, ideas that are not only unique and creative but also fun to play as well, because ultimately that's, you know, that's our goal when we're sitting here. Hearthstone's a game, we play it to have fun.
Yep.
So I think that'll about do it for us tonight. I'm just gonna throw out there, you know, the usual to if you guys don't, you can follow us on social media. We are Hearthmind.net on Twitch. That's our official Twitch channel. On Twitter, it is at Hearthmind.net as well. Facebook is facebook.com/Hearthmind. And on YouTube, our channel is Hearthmind.net Official. So you can check us out, follow us on all of there, and you can stay abreast of all like the news we have for our series coming up, the articles, strategy, things of that nature that get posted up on the site. You can definitely be on top of all of those as they come. So if you're not following, be sure to follow us there. And also available on the Hearthmind.net website, you're able to book coaching with members of Team Hearthmind, such as Alex. We also recently added on the Mad Hatter as a new member, and he is available to book for coaching on the site as well. So he's definitely an up-and-coming player, so you guys can also check out his stream, which is the Mad Hatter TV on Twitch. And it's definitely a very informative stream. He's a great player, so be sure to check him out as well. Anything else from you guys before we shut it down?
That's it for this week.
All right, take care, guys. We look forward to seeing you next time.